Somalis living in the U.S. after a few dozen were implicated in a COVID relief fraud case.
Democratic leaders in Minnesota slamming the Trump administration over reports of planned immigration enforcement targeting Somalians.
I got this door here. Someone check that corner.
4:17 a.m. downtown Minneapolis. The city is silent. Fog rolls through empty streets lit only by flickering neon signs and the distant glow of bridge lights over the Mississippi River. But beneath the calm federal strike teams are already moving. Over 200 agents. FBI, IECE, DEA, Minneapolis, SWAT, converging on 17 locations simultaneously across Minneapolis and St. Paul. 2 sitting judges, both sentencing drug offenders by day, both on the Sinaloa Cartel's payroll by night. $340,000 in cash, hidden behind judicial robes, 3.25 tons of cocaine, seized from a shadow network, and a man who didn't need guns or threats. He just needed access to the gavel. For 9 years, they didn't just corrupt the justice system. They became the justice system. This is the story of how Rashid al-Malik built a judicial dynasty that served the cartel, and how Operation Northern Gate exposed the most sophisticated infiltration of American courts ever discovered. Target 1, a luxury high-rise condominium in the North Loop, registered to Judge Amina Hassan and her husband, Judge Khaled Osman, both sitting district court judges, both entrusted with sentencing drug offenders, approving warrants, overseeing financial crime cases, both secretly on the payroll of the Sinaloa Cartel. If you believe judges who sell justice deserve life sentences, tap like now and comment "expose them." At exactly 4:18 a.m., flashbangs detonate, doors explode inward, agents in black tactical gear flood the residence, weapons raised, voices overlapping in sharp commands. Judge Hassan is pulled from her bedroom in silk pajamas. Judge Osman tries to grab a laptop from the kitchen counter. An agent slams his wrist to the granite and cuffs him before he can delete a single file. In the master bedroom closet, behind rows of designer suits and judicial robes, agents find a hidden steel safe. Inside, $340,000 in cash, vacuum-sealed bricks of cocaine, and 3 encrypted hard drives. But that's just the beginning. Across the river in St. Paul, agents hit a private law office registered to a shell entity called North Star Legal Consulting. It's a front. Inside they find no clients, no case files, just server racks humming with encrypted data, stacks of falsified court documents, and ledgers tracking wire transfers in the millions. Type North Star if you're starting to see the infrastructure. In a suburban warehouse in Bloomington, near the Mall of America, agents breach a logistics company called Great Lakes Freight Solutions. The front bay is clean. Pallets, forklifts, shipping manifests. But in the back, behind a false wall, they find it. A cocaine super lab, industrial scales, hydraulic presses, cutting agents, packaging stations, and 1.8 tons of pure cocaine, already divided into kilo bricks, stamped with the Sinaloa Cartel's signature emblem, a crowned serpent. One agent radios back to command. "We've got enough product here to flood the Midwest for 6 months." But the worst discovery comes 30 minutes later. In a secured storage unit in Eden Prairie, agents find something that changes everything. Sealed steel boxes containing encrypted USB drives, financial documents in multiple languages, and a laminated master ledger with a title printed in block letters, Operation Northern Gate, and beneath it, a single name flagged in red, Rashid al-Malik. Comment al-Malik if you're ready to see who orchestrated this. 9:30 a.m. FBI Regional Cyber Forensics Lab, Minneapolis. Analysts are cracking the encryption on the seized drives. It takes 4 hours. When the files finally open, what they see is not just a network, it's a blueprint, a fully operational shadow judiciary. The screen fills with a flowchart showing dozens of shell companies, offshore accounts, fake nonprofit organizations, and real estate holdings spread across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, and Michigan. At the center of the web, Rashid al-Malik, not a judge himself, but something worse, a judicial power broker with connections to the Somali diaspora community, the legal establishment, and the Sinaloa Cartel's North American money laundering division. His role? To identify, recruit, and control judges who could be bought. And he didn't just buy them, he married them into the system. Judge Hassan and Judge Osman, weren't random targets for corruption. They were selected, cultivated, and positioned by al-Malik years before they ever put on the robe. Their wedding was funded by a shell company. Their home was purchased through a cartel-backed real estate trust. Their children's private school tuition paid by a fake charity linked to al-Malik's network. Type married in. If you see how deep the infiltration goes, in exchange, they did what no amount of muscle or firepower could do for the Sinaloa Cartel. They made cases disappear. Warrants were delayed. Evidence was suppressed. Cartel members arrested by local police walked free within hours. Their charges mysteriously dropped or reduced to probation. Seized drug money was returned under legal technicalities that Judge Hassan herself authored. And every time federal agents got close, the case files were reassigned, straight into the hands of judges on al-Malik's payroll. One FBI analyst leans back from her screen and whispers to her supervisor, "Sir, this isn't corruption. This is command-level collusion." They turned the Minnesota justice system into a cartel protection service. Her supervisor doesn't disagree. He just stares at the screen and says one thing: find everyone on that list. Comment protection service. If you see this as a hostile takeover. 5:44 a.m. the next morning. Unified Federal Command Center, Minneapolis. A massive digital map fills the wall. Across Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Illinois, over 60 red markers pulse in real time, each one representing a location tied to Operation Northern Gate, cartel stash houses, money laundering fronts, corrupt judges, dirty lawyers, cartel logistics hubs disguised as trucking companies, restaurants, import-export businesses, and even medical clinics. The operation commander, a senior DEA field director, steps up to the mic. "All units, this is command. We are green-lit for full spectrum takedown. You have authorization to execute warrants on all flagged locations simultaneously. This is not a drug bust. This is a network eradication. Move now." Within minutes, over 1,000 federal agents deploy across 3 states. Black Hawk helicopters lift off from regional airports. Armored SWAT units roll through pre-dawn streets. ICE tactical teams hit suspected human trafficking safe houses used by the cartel to move product and people through the Great Lakes corridor. In Milwaukee, agents storm a cartel-operated nightclub where cocaine was distributed through VIP bottle service. In Chicago, they breach a high-end car dealership that laundered drug money through luxury vehicle sales to cash buyers. In Duluth, near the Canadian border, they intercept a refrigerated truck convoy carrying 780 kilos of cocaine hidden inside shipments of frozen seafood. Type 780 kilos if this seizure scale shocks you. Back in Minneapolis, agents arrest Judge Hassan's brother, a city councilman who approved zoning permits for cartel-front businesses. They arrest Judge Osman's law school mentor, a retired appellate judge who ghost-wrote legal opinions to shield cartel operations. They arrest 4 deputy court clerks who altered case files on al-Malik's orders. And in a quiet suburb outside St. Paul, they arrest Rashid al-Malik himself. He's in his home office wearing a tailored suit, sitting calmly at his desk as if he'd been expecting them. On his desk, a glass of tea, a Quran, and a laptop still open to an encrypted offshore banking portal. He says nothing. He doesn't resist. He just watches as agents cuff him and lead him out past his children's toys in the hallway. One agent who was there later said it was the calmest arrest he'd ever made. He looked at me like this was all part of the plan, like he'd already won something we didn't understand yet. Comment: calmest arrest, if this detail chills you. 11:20 a.m. FB evidence. Processing facility. Agents are combing through the seized server data, and what they find is worse than anyone imagined. Al-Malik didn't just corrupt a few judges. He built a parallel legal system. Over the past 9 years, his network influenced or outright controlled 14 sitting judges across Minnesota and Wisconsin, 6 prosecutors in major metro areas, 11 defense attorneys who funneled cartel members into al-Malik-friendly courtrooms, and dozens of court staffers, clerks, and bailiffs who acted as eyes and ears inside the system. The financial records reveal over $1.5 billion in laundered cartel money moved through Minnesota alone. Fake real estate deals, sham loans, fraudulent nonprofit donations, ghost invoices for construction projects that never happened. shell companies buying farmland, strip malls, gas stations, and apartment complexes, all with cocaine money, all cleaned through the judicial and financial networks that Al-Malik controlled. Type $1.5 billion if this scale shocks you. But the most chilling part? The timeline. Al-Malik's encrypted notes show that this wasn't a short-term scheme. It was a generational project. He was preparing to hand the network off to his sons. He was training a second generation of operatives. He was building a judicial dynasty that would serve the Sinaloa Cartel for decades. One FBI supervisor reads through the files and says it out loud. He wasn't just protecting the cartel. He was becoming the cartel. 72 hours later, press conference. FBI Minneapolis field office. The cameras are rolling. The FBI special agent in charge steps up to the podium. This morning, federal agencies have successfully dismantled what we believe to be the most sophisticated judicial infiltration network ever discovered in the United States.